Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Looked like we had a little bit of a connection error just jumping on, but we should be good moving forward. How's everybody doing? I want to do some stuff and share this to some groups that I am part of. All right. How's everybody doing? Jenna, what's up, darling? Hello, welcome, welcome. We are here. We are about to do this. Let's get some fire going because we got a couple things. All right, 5 people. Mickey, hello. Sarah Powers, hey girl, hey. What's up? How's the sound? You guys give me some feedback. I got a new microphone that we're testing out, so I want to make sure that you guys can hear me really well and everything sounds great. Are we good to go? Come on, outfit. You know, Sarah, just a little like snazziness. No, but for real, how's the microphone? Can you guys hear me? Sound good? Nobody's answering my question. Cool. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Thank you, Joseph. Loud and proud. You're so ridiculous. She's always proud, okay? So this is like week 5, week 6, something like that. And things are going great. I'm really excited to still be doing this. People are still very much so engaged. It's so much fun. Honorary cousin. What's up? So today we are doing a marinated pan-seared chicken breast with the creamy Parmesan and asparagus risotto. Lots of times people are very afraid of risotto. They hear risotto, they watch Chopped, and they're like, oh my God, am I going to be able to execute this? Risotto, honestly, is really, really approachable. It's an easy dish. It's not hard to make. It just takes time and patience, kind of like the same thing any other recipe takes when you're cooking in the kitchen. So welcome back to Taste of a Texan, people. Make sure that you like and share this live. While we're in this room, go ahead and start sharing. I need to see some shares because you are going to be entered into the weekly drawing, obviously. And then this week, I wanted to switch it up a little bit and also throw in the pot a 1-hour virtual chef experience for you guys. Chef Ramsay scared you to make risotto. Chef Ramsay scares a lot of people. It's all for camera. It's really not that hard to make. But seriously, you guys, I want y'all to like and share this video. And then also you'll get, like I said, you'll get entered into the drawing for, the weekly, you know, amount for the meal, as well as this week we're doing a virtual chef experience. Mr. Brian Fox from Level Up Home Inspections in the DFW area is our weekly sponsor. So gracious. Thank you so much. And he is in the room, so make sure everybody says hello to him. So let's get started. On the stove, you'll notice I got quite a few pots and pans going on. Back here, we got our chicken stock. If you're cooking with me in real time, what I need you to do is make sure you go ahead and have your chicken stock heating up, so that way when you're adding it to the risotto and you're cooking risotto, you're adding hot stock to it. That's one of the key elements to making risotto. Other than that, we got a pan to sear our chicken breast in, and then we got some water to blanch our asparagus. So let's run down through our ingredients. This is going to be 1 bunch of asparagus with the ends cut off, cut into thirds. If they're a little bit larger of asparagus, you can cut it into 4ths. We have a small yellow onion diced. We're going to have 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. This isn't fancy Parmesan cheese. This is just like your bag shredded Parmesan cheese. If you want to go fancy, you can. This is a 1 jar of 9-ounce sun-dried tomatoes, and these are ones that are going to be packed in the olive oil liquid. You have 1 8-ounce package of baby bella mushrooms. Other than that, you have your 2 cups of arborio rice, aka which is going to make your risotto. If you guys are unfamiliar with what arborio rice is, it's an Italian short grain rice. It should have a little bit of bite to it while you're cooking it. It's going to have a little bit more starch than most of your normal rices that you buy, just because you want that kind of like creamy aspect of it. And then we got our butter. All right, clearly I don't know my stove because I turned on the wrong burner. I'm trying to turn on the one in the front. Let's go, a little fan going on. All right, so we got our rundown of our ingredients. Let's also go ahead and grab our chicken breast from the fridge. So the chicken breast, I posted on my story earlier. I marinated these right around 11 o'clock. I think it was I started marinating these. Super simple marinade. You can utilize this for chicken, shrimp, steak, like whatever. But all we did was, and you can see it, we got a little bit of olive oil, lemon juice, rosemary, fresh chopped garlic, crushed red pepper, salt and pepper. All the ingredients to this live and to this recipe are going to be on my Facebook wall. So if you didn't catch it while I was just running down through it, slide on over to my Facebook wall and check it out. All right, so let's get a few things going here. We got our water boiling for the asparagus. What we're going to do with the asparagus, we're going to blanch it before we add it to the risotto. The asparagus, the corn, the mushrooms, we really just want a really crispy, kind of like firm texture to it, since the risotto itself is going to be super creamy. And we got our chicken broth going back there as well. So we got quite a few things that we're going to need to balance today. So let's get started, you guys. First things first, we are going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan that we're going to be cooking our risotto in. So with risotto, or anytime you do like a Spanish rice or something like that, what you want to do is toast the rice, toast the risotto. It's just going to give it like a nice little nutty flavor and really enhance the dish altogether. I didn't let that really heat up long enough, so we didn't get no sizzle. But it's all good. It's still going to cook. So we got our onions in the pan here for our risotto. What we're going to do is sweat these out for a little bit. Sweating essentially is going to break down the onion, make it translucent, and release all the flavor that you're actually looking for. So that way, once you add the risotto, start toasting it, you're really going to get a good flavor with the onions. I have pretty much diced up, chopped up everything that I'm going to be using today, with the exception of the corn. I had somebody last week was like, hey, I saw you did cut off the cob corn. How do you do that? How you execute it? It's super simple, really easy. So I typically grab a bowl, and then with the corn, you know, shuck it, fresh cut off the cob corn. You're going to shuck it and clean it. But cut off the end where the bottom of the corn is. And then what you want to do is just set it in a bowl and run your knife down the edge of the cob. And then that way all your corn kernels fall directly into the bowl. That way you're not making a mess. You're not chasing corn all around your stove. And then you got a really, really fresh product. Right now, corn is one of my favorite things to use. You'll probably see it in a lot of dishes that I'll be making in the upcoming weeks, only because it's corn season. Katie, what's up? Just so I happen to get close to the screen and saw you join. But yeah, corn is one of my favorite things during the summertime to add to dishes, just because it's so fresh. It's naturally sweet, really great flavor, and I'm not a huge fan of like canned ingredients and that kind of stuff anyway. So over the last like 5-6 weeks that I've been doing this, I've gained, you know, some interest from some different people. Different friends have shared it on their Facebooks and everything, which I appreciate, and they have you know, gotten their family members to join. So down in the comments while I'm cooking, you guys, kind of do a shout out and let me know where you're watching from, so that way we can see, you know, where our viewers are coming from. All right, back in this back pot, we got our chicken stock going. It's not at a boil, it's not at a simmer, it's just hot. Like I said, when you're making risotto, you want to make sure when you're adding that liquid to the risotto itself that it's warm. That way you're not adding cold liquid to a hot dish and you're constantly like reheating the dish over and over and over again when you add the liquid. The trick with risotto, like I said, is just going to take patience and time. It's pretty much going to take me the whole like 25-30 minutes to make this risotto while I'm on live, because you have to constantly stir it and constantly, you know, add liquid till you get the proper texture, aka al dente like flavor texture to the risotto. So our onions are smelling good, they're going great. We got our corn all cut off the cob and ready to go. Let me go ahead and make an ice bath really quick for our asparagus. So we've used this term before. How weird is that? You guys can really hear me. I'm not on camera. Hey yo. So we've used this term before. Blanching essentially is going to be you par cooking an item, whether it be green beans or broccoli or whatever. You're going to par cook it really quick just to break it down a little bit. You still want it to have a little bit of crunch, but you're going to blanch it and throw it in this ice water to retain like the texture as well as the color of the veggie. So with this blanching of the asparagus, We're gonna let it cook for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Not long at all. Like I said, we just want to make sure that it's not completely raw when we add it to the risotto. All right, so we're looking good on the onions here. Like I said, we just want them to break down a little bit, get a little translucent, have a little bit of color. Now we're going to take our 2 cups of our arborio rice. Again, this is an Italian short grain rice. Essentially, when you're making risotto, the reason why we're adding it into the pot before we add any liquid is because we want to toast it a little bit, give the dish a little bit of a nutty flavor. We're not trying to burn it or give it color, just like a light toast on it. But arborio slash risotto rice is an Italian short grain rice. You do want it to have a little bit of bite, a little bit of texture, but the reason why you constantly stir in your liquids and stir the rice itself is to ensure that it gives it like that creamy texture that you're always looking for in risotto. Let's grab, go, a little spoon here. I'm gonna turn this up a little higher than I typically would, just because I want to make sure that I get this cooked while on camera. So in my video, or in the post on Facebook, I said about 4 to 4.5 cups of liquid. Always have some residual on hand. It doesn't necessarily have to be chicken broth. If you find yourself making risotto and you still need to add a little more liquid, obviously you can add water to it, but I bought some extra chicken broth just in case. So like I said, have your liquid in the back on like a low simmer, just so you're not adding cold liquid to the hot risotto. All right. So again, you guys, this week the live and every week is going to be sponsored by Brian Fox over at Level Up Home Inspections in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Please make sure you reach out to him if you're looking to buy a new home. This guy is doing a fantastic job, and he's following all the safe practices when it comes to home inspections during this whole COVID thing. Other than that, the giveaway this week is obviously going to be the cost of the meal. On top of that, if you didn't catch it in the original post that I made for this live, I will be doing a free 1-hour virtual chef cooking demo. You guys can redeem this, do it for date night. If you got some family coming over, if you're going to a dinner party after this is all over and you want to wow your friends that you know how to cook, make sure you like and share. Sharing is the big part. Once you share, 24 hours after this live has ended, I will do the drawing. I always make a post weekly. So the shares are super important for us to continue to keep this whole Taste of a Texan going, and honestly, let's gain some traction, guys. Let's make this fun. I don't know if you all have been commenting and talking about where you're from. I know we got some people from out of town, so make friends, say hello, see where everybody's watching from. All right, back to the risotto. Again, like I said, you just want to make sure that you're constantly stirring it and showing it all the attention that it needs, because you don't want it to stick, and you also don't want it to dry out. So like I said, have your hot liquid back here in the back so you can just constantly add, and you want to add just a little bit at a time. You never want to end up with a bunch of liquid in the pot and it's kind of like a soupy mess. You want it to be creamy, have a good texture, and everything. Right, so I blanched the asparagus while I was talking. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I went ahead, threw the asparagus in the water, boiled it for a few seconds, and blanched it. I'll let you get a good look of the color there if you can see it. So once you drop it in this ice water, it's pretty much just shocking it, so that way it stops the cooking process, as well as helps it maintain the color. I also have my oven set for about 350. What I'm going to do, because I want some really nice good grill marks on the chicken, I'm going to start my chicken in a pan and give it some good grill marks. We're going to kick that up to 400. We're going to give it some good grill marks, and then I'm going to throw it in the oven so that way we can finish it off. When you cook indoors with what is it called, cast iron, sometimes it tends to be a little smoky. So to alleviate that whole situation, we're going to throw it in the oven to finish it off. Again, thank you guys for all the support, all the love over the weeks. I'm really enjoying this. I have way too many leftovers, so I don't know if y'all follow me, but I've been getting that cardio in because somebody's got to eat it, and I don't waste nothing. Okay. And yeah, it's fun doing this. So we're gonna move this to the front so that way y'all can get a good view. So this is one of my favorite pans. Shout out to my friend Alex Mayfield. She knows me so well. She got me this for Christmas a couple years ago. I know that people love cast iron skillets or cast iron cookware, but they don't know how to maintain it and keep it nice. First of all, cast iron pots and pans, any of that stuff, it never goes in the dishwasher. I don't know who, why, or why somebody would throw it in the dishwasher, but I've definitely seen people like throw it in the dish before, but it definitely doesn't go in the dish. Another thing with cast iron, once you wash it, you want to add a little bit of oil to it, whether it be olive oil or vegetable oil. Add a little oil to it so that way it doesn't rust, because cast iron skillets will rust once it comes in contact with that water. All right. And there's not a whole lot to really talk about when it comes to preparing this risotto. As you guys can see me like constantly stirring, constantly adding water. The next time I get to a point where I need to add some water, I'm going to give you a good look so that way you can see like exactly what I'm doing and what it looks like when you need to add more water to it. All right. So the chicken that I'm using is boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm not a huge fan of like chicken thighs or dark meat in general. But but when it comes to chicken thighs, if you're using something that's bone-in or something like that, make sure that you're checking your appropriate temperature so that way everything is like fully cooked. But you know, in this case, like I said, we're using boneless, skinless chicken breast. I was like racking my brain this week. I was really like trying to figure out what it is that I can do that's approachable, that's easy, that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily do. So that's why it took me a little while to get the flyer out. But typically I've been trying to get this flyer out on like a Saturday or Sunday, so that way everybody can grab the ingredients and cook along with me. But again, all this stuff is always saved on my Facebook wall. You can also go to my YouTube and check me out. All right. So it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of heat, a little bit of smoke on the cast iron skillet here. What you want to do with this is always go skin side down. Obviously, if you want to make great good grill marks, you're going to let it sear. I would say 2 to 3 minutes, and then turn it a quarter of a turn for another 2 to 3 minutes. And let's go get you your nice like cross marks. But in this case, I just want some good old standard grill marks. So let's see if we can. All right, sizzle. Y'all hear that microphone? Okay, we got 4 chicken breasts here, but what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna, since I can only fit 3 in the pan, we're just gonna do 3, and then later on, I'm gonna throw that 4th chicken breast in that pan before we close up shop in this soup kitchen tonight. Okay, so let me give y'all guys a look. So this is where it looks just like something white and blurred out. This is what the texture you're looking for and the amount of like liquid that you want in the pan before you add more when you're making the risotto. Like I said, make sure that you have your oh, let's do this. Let's probably roll out. Make sure that you have your liquid at a low simmer, so that way you're adding hot liquid to the hot pot and you're not having to bring the risotto back up to a boil every single time. All right. If you missed it, I did marinate my chicken breast ahead of time. It's been marinating for about 6 or 7 hours. And honestly, this is a very simple marinade, something that you can utilize on a number of different dishes. You can use it with shrimp, steak. I just did a little olive oil, lemon juice, fresh chopped rosemary, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper. Yeah, super easy, really approachable, but really good stuff. All right, you guys, so we're in a good space. Let me go ahead and I'm going to drain off the asparagus that we blanched, just because we don't want it to get waterlogged. And at this point, the cooking process has stopped, so we don't have to worry about that. And let's see what we're looking like for grill marks. All right, grill marks. I'm going to be a little messy. I'm going to carry it over to let y'all see. And this is what it looks like I said, when you do it like a quarter of a turn. You get a really good like crosshatch. That's what you're looking for. So what I'm going to do now is try not to cough in the microphone, because this crushed red pepper is killing me. But let's go ahead and we're gonna throw these chicken breasts in the oven, and we'll finish them up in about another. It shouldn't take but about 8 to 10 minutes to finish those chicken breasts up. There's a technical term that a lot of people use all the time. It's called carryover cooking. Carryover cooking is essentially like once you pull a steak off the grill, or once you pull chicken out the oven or out of a pan, that heat that's been retained in that item is going to continue the cooking process. So you want to pull it out ahead of time, so that way you're not like overcooking your chicken and it's dry. That is definitely one of the big things and issues with people not wanting to cook with like chicken breast. But for me, just knowing how to work with it and temperatures and everything, I mean, I got experience. I know what I'm doing. So that's it. All right. So the risotto is actually coming along really, really well. We're probably at about 15 minutes. We've been cooking this. We probably got about another 6 or 7. In this recipe, I did say to grab some portobello mushroom, some baby bella mushrooms. I like baby bella mushrooms only because they really give a good like meaty texture. So to this dish, if you are vegan and you're trying to avoid like excuse me, any meat products or anything at all, or vegetarian, obviously you can just substitute veggie stock for the chicken stock in the risotto. And then for the chicken, honestly, you can do a chicken fried mushroom. You can do some tempeh. You can do some marinated and pan-seared tofu to kind of top it off if you want to make it a vegetarian / vegan style dish. The butter and the Parmesan cheese are just going to add another level of like creaminess to it to finish it off. Those are also optional items to substitute and give it like a cheesy flavor. If you would like, you can do if you guys can see right now, my roommate, he's standing behind the camera like fanning because she's a little smoky. But to substitute the cheese in the dish, if you want to do like nutritional yeast, it always gives it like a good cheesy flavor without it actually being dairy. Always season every little step of the way. Don't over season, but definitely season every step of the way. We got a little fresh ground pepper in our mushrooms. We're going to do the same with the risotto. Now, aesthetically, if I was in a restaurant or I was really trying to like do the most, I would probably add some white pepper to the risotto just so it doesn't give color. But you know, in this case, since it's just going to be me, myself, and the roommate eating this, we're going to use ground black pepper. All right, so let's get some heat going on. I threw these mushrooms in the pot and then turned off the heat. All right, so we're going to saute the mushrooms up just to break them down a little bit. The asparagus is already, like I said, been blanched. The fresh corn, once you add it to the risotto, I just want to heat it through. I really don't want to cook the corn. I like that kind of like pop when you bite into fresh corn. And then we also have our sun-dried tomatoes that we're going to add at the end. The sun-dried tomatoes are packed in a little bit of olive oil, so they're going to add really good flavor. But that's something else that you want to add to the very, very end. Also, too, with the sun-dried tomatoes, make sure when you're taking them out of the little container, you drain off all the excess oil. You don't want to add that to your dish. That's honestly something that you could reserve if you would like and marinate, you know, a meat product or something in, because it has a lot of really good flavor. All right. So again, you guys, this week, every week, these lives and these cooking demos, Taste of a Texan, are going to be sponsored by Brian Fox over at Level Up Home Inspections. Make sure that you all show him some love, shoot him a hello, a hi, go to his page, get him a like. That means a lot in the business world, that whole algorithm thing. You kids know what I'm talking about, you internet kids. Y'all know how to work it out. Other than that, this week we're also doing a giveaway not only for the cost of the meal, but we're doing a free 1-hour virtual chef experience. There's no expiration or time limit on this. So while you're watching, I got like, what, 34 people? I need to at least see 34 shares by the time I get off this live. Not to be pushy, but to be pushy. All right. So we're looking good, you guys. Everything's like smelling great, coming along really well. The chicken, a little bit of smoke. The chicken's cooking up really well. Like I said, probably about another like 6 minutes on the chicken. Once you sear it in the pan and then throw it in the oven, it really doesn't take that long to finish the cooking process. I don't know who all was here last week, but we had, you know, a couple of technical difficulties. AKA, it was real hot in my house. The AC decided to go out as soon as I started the live, so that was fun. And other than that, I broke a bowl on camera, but from what everybody told me, they had no clue that it happened. All right, with the baby Bella mushrooms, we don't want to cook them till they're completely mushy and all the way broken down. We just want to break them down just a little bit, put a little heat on them so that way they're not raw and they're not going to soak up all the creamy goodness that you've worked so hard for in the risotto here. Also, I want to send a big thank you to Esteban. Esteban was so nice to send me this microphone for my birthday. So it came in right in time for this week's show. So it's much appreciated. I know that sometimes it's been a little hard to hear me over the fan and like me moving around. So this is working out great. So thank you, Esteban and Kim, for the birthday gift. All right. This is just about finished. We're going to add a little more of our chicken broth liquid to this risotto and to continue to stir it. Again, this can be very easily transitioned into a vegetarian slash vegan meal. Just alleviate the cheese, the butter, and the chicken broth, and use veggie broth. Super simple, like pivot to ensure that it's vegetarian slash vegan friendly. All right. So with this, if I was, you know, inviting someone over and having like a little dinner party with this, something good to pair with it would be like a great Sauvignon Blanc, something a little citrusy, a little zesty, because you have such the rich, creamy, like butteriness coming from the risotto with the Parmesan cheese and everything. Something crisp and light would go really well in like the wine selection. Maybe even a Pinot Grigio. I'm not a huge fan of Pinot Grigios. I typically gravitate to a Sauvignon Blanc, but you know, just something fun. Other than that, if you were doing a cocktail, I would try to keep it like super light, really fresh, something maybe vodka based, nothing with like a very harsh like gin, juniper based cocktail or anything. And you know, I decided to go sober for the rest of May and not have cocktails or wine or anything, so that's why I'm not having my sips. I know y'all got used to me having a sip and asking me what was in my cup, but you know what, we're just hanging out. We're getting really close to finishing up this meal. I'm going to honestly throw in the rest of my chicken broth here and let that finish cooking out. It shouldn't take but another 2 to 3 minutes to simmer out. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to finish it with the butter and Parmesan cheese. Those items you want to finish it and with the meal at the very, very end. All right, let's see how we look in here. Not too smoky. Okay, so these are pretty thick chicken breasts. We still have a few more minutes before these are done. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old trick when it comes to like making steak and checking for temperatures. It kind of correlates to chicken, but not all that much, because chicken obviously you want it to be cooked all the way through. But if you're making a steak, if you hold your hand up and you touch your hand right here in the corner underneath your thumb, this is going to be rare. And then you go with the next finger. This is medium rare. This is medium. This is medium well, and this is well done. If you do that trick right now, just as I showed you, every time you go to the next finger, this part of your hand is going to tighten up a little bit more. Essentially what the steak is going to do when you're cooking it. So just like a little fun chef tip there. Let's get a fork and see how we looking on the al dente-ness of the risotto. Honestly, that's really good. I'm not even going to add any more salt to this. I'll probably add a teaspoon of salt, if that, when I was sprinkling there, only because, like I said, you're cooking with chicken broth. It's going to give it a really good, like, seasoned flavor in itself. So we got a few more minutes before this cooks down. You guys, again, make sure you like and share these videos. If you don't have time to catch them every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can catch me on my YouTube as well. It's just my name, Chris McGee, Taste of a Texan. All the videos are uploaded there. When you do go to YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Like and share on this live. One last time, each and every week we are sponsored by. Each and every week we are sponsored by Brian Fox over at Level Up Home Inspections, and we do giveaways. This is really fun. It's really informational. If you got any culinary inspired questions, things that you want to see me cook, shoot me a message or DM, and then feel free to let me know what you would like to see. I'm open to suggestions. So the risotto is looking really good. We're going to go ahead and throw in our butter. If I do believe this was 2 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna also turn our heat down. At this point, you don't want the risotto to be on a high simmer, because again, you want it to have that like creamy like texture. So we are going to turn that down. The butter is melted in, and I'm gonna slowly add in the Parmesan cheese. It's kind of like when you make what is it called, like an Alfredo sauce or something. You don't want it to break and heat up too fast, so we're just gonna add, you know, just a little bit at a time to ensure that it really melts down really nice. This particular recipe and meal will very easily serve 4 people. You got 4 chicken breasts now, but the risotto itself will serve 4 people. Again, risotto isn't hard to cook. It's very approachable. So make sure you take the time to really like check this recipe out, you guys. It's a really good fun one to make, and it's super easy. I don't know if you've noticed, but all the things that I do and cook here at Taste of a Texan, I try to keep it to about 30-35 minutes total cooking time. With that being said, obviously there are some prep and some things that I do behind the camera that you don't see, but total, you shouldn't be in the kitchen no more than an hour. All right, so I want y'all to see this real quick. Really good creamy like texture, not overly soupy, just a really great like rich risotto. So the butter's in there, the Parmesan cheese is in there. Now we're just going to kind of add the rest of the ingredients. We got our fresh corn, we got the mushrooms that we sauteed really quick. Like I said, the baby bellas, we just want to saute them and break them down a little bit, but we don't want to compromise the whole texture and shape of them. You want to be able to like identify the item and see that that's a mushroom in there. And then we're going to add the asparagus. And risotto is really hearty. Good thing about this too, this heats up well. So if you're having a dinner party and you got people coming over later that evening, you can make it early on. Just reserve some of the extra like chicken broth to the side, so that way you can heat it up and in the pan and just add a little extra chicken broth. All right, so everybody's in the pot minus the sun-dried tomatoes. Like I said, at the very end, I want to add the sun-dried tomatoes just because I don't want to compromise the color. I did go ahead and drain off the packing oil that the sun-dried tomatoes came in. So we got them in the pot. Again, each and every Thursday, you guys, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like and share these videos so that way your friends and your family members, your homeboy, your homegirl that can't cook, that's always inviting you over for mealtime, can check these out. And you don't have to act like you like the meal. All right, let's see how we're doing with the chicken. Honestly, I nailed that. Like perfect timing with the chicken. So our chicken's ready. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the oven and let me get a plate and plate this up for you all. Where'd I put my plate? Yeah. Let's see, you guys. I had a white plate set out, but we over here. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, white plate. Come on, assistant. All right, so let's serve up this risotto. Throw the chicken breast on top. Something that I would do that would really elevate this meal is like add a little lemon wedge to it for a garnish. You can also do a little lemon zest on top if you would like to kind of finish it off and brighten it up. But for Facebook Live, we're gonna throw that chicken breast on there. Boom. I'm gonna give you all a quick little show and tell. I feel like a child, show and tell. All right, come on now, risotto. Let's see if we can get in the camera and not have this glare. So we got the creamy Parmesan risotto with asparagus, baby bella mushrooms, a little bit of fresh corn, and some marinated pan-seared chicken breasts. Let's give it a flavor taste. See how we looking. Oh, wow. Honestly, this is good. I'm gonna take a second bite. Okay. Trying to talk with my mouth full. But thank you guys again for tuning in to Taste of a Texan each and every week, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Typically a few days in advance, I'll post the recipe. So if you want to cook with me, other than that, make sure you like and share this video to be entered into a drawing. That drawing will take place 24 hours after this live has ended. All right, you guys, y'all stay safe out there. Thank you.